Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Just it's coffee.
We could talk about dogs, daughters, and coffee.
We got to change the intro because that is what you just said.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Last week we talked about the declarations that we're going to make for this year. I think one fantastic thing to think about is our human inventory. And we've always talked about how that's the biggest asset of your agency, right? But hiring's huge.
Oh,
and
is it ever?
Somebody recently said they're not good at hiring. I'm not going to spoil who that is.
Does it start with a T?
No, you stop that, Mr. Craig. You don't do that.
Spoiler alert.
But what was very interesting is they said they're not good at it. So they just did a lot of interviews.
Yeah.
Which doesn't that kind of mimic how we prospect?
It sure does, Mr. Jason.
We make sure we have a ton of leads and we quote a lot of people, right? So it's the same thing with hiring. If you need to get one person, what were the metrics? I don't know if anybody remembers.
66-21.
60-21.
Not 66.
That's right. No, but you could do 60. I mean, maybe.
It could be. It's somewhere around
It
there.
could be. Yeah. So it takes 60 booked interview appointments to get 20 interviewees to show up. And out of those 20, you might find one.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing that you see people complain about, besides the things they can't control and their staff. It's the people not showing up for their interviews. Right? They also complain about internet leads, which they don't call enough. And here's the same thing. This is the same thing as saying internet leads suck, is saying interviews suck or hiring sucks, right? Well, it sucks because we're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? You need to book 60.
60.
You need 20. 20 of those 60 will show. Less than half. I don't know why.
Yeah, a third if you're lucky.
Yeah. Don't hate the game, hate the player, or whatever the saying is, but you can't get mad that that's what happens, because that is what happens.
Right.
And if you're going to play the game, you need players.
Yeah. Some things that in interviews can be tough. Group interviews are great. When it comes to frameworks for that, everybody wants to know everybody thinks they stink at doing interviews, which might be the case. But what are some of the things that we can do in interviews? You know what I mean? Have a bit of a framework. Definitely throw people off. Don't conduct them normally. It's kind of like the same framework as when you're prospecting. You need to there needs to be pattern interrupts.
Yeah.
Because people come into interviews ready to say the same things. And then you ask the same questions that they're ready to answer, and it's a bunch of crap.
Listen, somebody coming into an interview is playing at 110%. This is the best that they will ever be, and it is going to be much better than they perform when you actually have them as an employee.
100%. Yep.
So you can't. It's a numbers game. I mean, at the end of the day, right? If you're saying I'm not good at interviews, guess how you get good at it? By doing 1 million of them. Do them.
Do you mean doing 1 million of them?
That's right. You've got to book 60. Now, that may be challenging for you to do. There's ways to make that happen that you don't need to do that legwork. But it's critical to know that, right? Don't think you can run an ad, take 3 people and book the appointment, and you're going to get yourself a player. Now, if you believe in your heart that you're going to pick one out of these 3, well, you've set yourself up for failure, because you're banking on that 1 in 3 is good. And that's if they show up. Right?
Right.
So you got to start back. You have to start at 60 to get to 20 to get to 1. It's the only way. And if you need to hire 10 times that, baby, you need 600 booked appointments. That's a lot.
So you got to you have to outsource at that point.
Yeah.
But when it comes to interviews, really look at it like, here's another correlation. It is prospecting, right? It's the same thing as when you're going after leads. It's the same thing. When we train our agents, we always train them to connect, right? To have a real connection. If you're just asking questions in an interview, that's like going through a quote. Who cares about the quote? You need to connect. Like the connecting part is the part that you're going to see what they are like. You want to see what they're, catch them off guard, like ask them weird questions, like get to know them as a person. Mm-hmm. That's the only way you're going to know you're going to peel the onion and get down to like what's real
and get down to the orange.
Get down to the orange, but do a ton of them.
Yeah.
If you think you suck at doing interviews, you need to do more because it's a part of the agency that you can't get away from. Your people are your best asset. And if you get good at that one thing, you'll never be vulnerable again.
Yep. You got to have a bench is what this person that may or may not start with a T suggested, and 100% agree. So you overbook. The airlines overbooks. And they run a pretty good operation. You need those players. And you know what? If you find too many good candidates, best problem in the world to have. You go down to Costco, you buy another desk, you buy another computer, and they will pay for themselves.
Yep. And if you figure that won't happen, make some way that it will happen. Mm-hmm. One good suggestion that some people do is they have somebody come into their agency as a telemarketer for the first week, right? And if they aren't good at that, then you get rid of them right away because if they can't do that, they can't be a good sales agent, right?
Yeah.
But if they can do that well, and let's say they eject after a week, well, you just got a bunch of transfers, so it literally paid for itself.
Yeah. You could even say, I don't know the rules on this, but I wonder if you could say, hey, there's a week tryout, 1 week tryout. You come in here for a week. This is a week-long interview. You make these dials, and if you do a good job, you're going to be hired. And I bet you 5% will show up. The other 95% will say, hell no, I'm not doing that, right? But the 5% that do, that person is a keeper. And they're all really, it's another test. Is it Randy? Hold on. We had a really good episode in the past. Randy Thompson, State Farm. He has an agency up in Wyoming. Listen to that podcast, that episode, not because of us, but because of what this guy said. He was a wrestling coach. He is a master interviewer. You can take away gold from that on actionable interviewing items.
Are we going to remember to put a link to that episode in the
highly
notes?
doubtful?
You know what? We're not going to. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's set up good expectations here.
Yeah. Because I think every time we say we're going to put some links, there's no links. We don't get put in there. But that's why there's Google. If you Google Randy Thompson and insurance dudes, it will come up.
It's a great one.
Yeah, he's super cool. A really good dude, down to earth, and man, some of those questions that he comes up with are phenomenal.
We got to get Randy back on.
What's the he says, tell me about the time you got busted shoplifting.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was 2 years ago. I mean, he just traps them. And it's great. You have to catch them off guard. Nobody's asked them that before.
Yep.
You don't need to ask the questions they asked for you to get a job at Google. I mean, no physics questions, but really get creative. I mean, this is the thing. It's an open canvas. You can ask whatever you want that you're allowed to legally. The disclaimer in parentheses.
You can do anything what you want, except there's a pretty big list of stuff that you can't do. Except that list.
Right. So do whatever you want, except all the things you're not allowed to do. And you can really make for a good interview.
You can. And this was a great one.
Oh, I love it. I'm still giggly. It's the first week. I am really, really stoked for this year. It's going to be good.
I am too. It's going to be good. It is good. It's already good, right?
It is.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah, I'm beating you. You're probably beating me.
No, you're beating me.
No.
Mr. Craig.
You're a great person. Well, Mr. Jason, that's a coffee talk.
That is a coffee talk. Now, if you're listening to this, pick up your cellular telephone, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't yet.
How do I do that, Mr. Jason?
You can either go to the Tubes of You, the Insurance Dudes. Yep.
Right there.
Right there.
So it says
now,
podcasts.
We want to talk to you. So pick up your cell phone, go to the text messages, click the new message button, put in the number right now, 520-214-2219. That is 520-214-2219. Let us know what your favorite thing that you're looking forward to this year. Text us and we will respond to you right away. Well, maybe not right away, but we will respond to you as fast as we can. Right, Mr. Craig?
I'm going to text you what my favorite thing I'm going to do.
Okay. He's putting into the text message right now, 520-214-2219. Again, that's 520-214-2219. And he put lots of dials, lots of them, hundreds of thousands of dials a month. That's how you crush it.
I put another thing
on lots of leads. Ooh, sounds like we got a game plan from Mr. Craig.
That's pretty simple.
His whole year.
That's my whole strategy.
Right there.
If you want to know my strategy that led to over 250,000 premium, that's it. Lots of dials on lots of leads.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm going to go implement.
Do it. I copied you. That's a coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium
yes.
off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes. It's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now. Live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.